So here we look down at ace, ace, 9, 7, 3 hearts in the small blind. And after the cutoff makes it 20 and the button calls, I go ahead and 3-bet to 85. They both call, and we are going 3 ways to a flop. What's up, guys? Wayne back here with you. In this episode, we're getting some really big hands. You'll notice that compared to Hold'em, you're going to actually be able to call a lot of 3-bets in PLO. One, really because the 3-bets are going to be a lot smaller. Obviously, no limit, you can just 3-bet all in. You'll see that kind of in this session here. Also, stick around to the end. You're going to see an interesting hand that comes up where I'm going to really ask everyone's opinion on it, because it's just one of those things you see in live where you're not really going to see it online. So stick around to the end for that one. But let's get into it, guys. We're in for our usual 300, and before I can even record my stack, I lost 20 bucks on some stupid hand I don't even remember. But first hand we get into of note is King, Queen, Jack 10 Rainbow on the button. So there was 3 limpers to me, and I decided to limp instead of raising for the simple fact that it's not going to have as much playability with no ability to make a flush. So I limp, and both the blinds check, so we're going 6 ways to a flop. So the flop comes Jack 10 4 2 clubs, and when it's checked to me, I go ahead and bet 25. There's 1 caller, and we're going to a turn, which is a 10 of spades. When he checks to me, I go ahead and bet 30, but looking back, it was probably a little too small. I don't want to make it obvious that I have a boat, and I would want to bet this stronger, like I am scared of, flushes and straights getting there. He does call, and the river brings a 9 of clubs, which is a great card, as he's going to be able to call now with a lot of straights and flushes he just made. And when he checks to me, I decide to go with 80. Looking back again, I think it could have been a little bit bigger, but I bet 80, and he goes ahead and call. We show, and we're good. So here we look down at King, King, 10, 9, single suit to the king on the button, and we go ahead and make it 20. The big blind and the middle position limper call, so we're going 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes ace, jack 3 with 2 clubs, and the middle position player goes ahead and bets 50 into me, which really threw me off because he is usually a calling station, and he very rarely ever leads out. When he does, it typically is extremely strong. So I decided to fold here, which might look really tight, but it's just a very rare occurrence for him to do this, so I folded. So here I just limped with ace, ace, 8, 6 suited to the 8 in the hijack, and it checked around. So it goes 4 ways to a flop of Queen, Queen, 4 Rainbow. When it checks to me, I decided to take a stab with $10, and I get 2 calls. At this point, I'm pretty much done. I mean, there's going to be at least 1 queen out there, maybe 2. Turn brings a 9, and the first player to act goes ahead and bets 35. The person behind him calls, and I have a pretty easy fold here. So here I look down at King, King, Jack 4, single suited to the king in late position, and I go ahead and overlimp, and the button goes ahead and makes it 30. Then we have 3 callers to me. Don't really love it, but I'm getting too good of a price to fold, so I go ahead and call. So the flop comes Jack 8, 5, 2 hearts, and checks to the original raiser, and he goes ahead and pots it, and I have a pretty easy fold here. So here I look down at ace, king, 10, 8 suited to the ace. Under the gun goes ahead and makes it 20. Folds to me, I call in the cutoff, and the button decides to raise it to 80. Both blinds call, then the original raiser calls, and here, I'm pretty much priced in. I'm most likely up against high pocket pair, most likely aces, but my hand's too good to fold, so I call. So we're going 5 ways to a flop of Queen 4 2, 2 spades, and the original raiser goes ahead and bets pot for $400, and not much I could do here besides fold. So here we look down at Queen, Queen, 9, 5, double suited in middle position in a straddle pot. I go ahead and make it 40, and the only player that calls is the straddler, so we're going heads up to a flop. So we're going heads up to a flop of King, King, Jack, Rainbow. And when he checks to me, I don't really have to bet too large, as this flop is going to favor my range much more than his. So I bet 30, and he goes ahead and folds. So we take it down. All right, guys, so the hand I was alluding to earlier is one I wasn't involved in, but it goes 3 ways to the flop of Jack 8-3 Rainbow. One guy pushes all in for about $200, another player folds, then another player calls. So they're going heads up to a run out. Turn brings a queen, river brings a 9. There's no flush available, so you have Jack 8-3, Queen 9, so you have a one-liner to a straight. The all-in opponent shows 9-10 for the straight. The other player who called, he turns over pocket jacks, and then he has his other 2 cards just kind of in front of him, and he's kind of just looking at it, pondering. I'm not actively looking to see what he has, but I'm sitting next to him, and he kind of has it out, so I'm able to see what he has. I see an ace, which doesn't have any, play in the hand, but then I also see a 10, which of course would give him the exact same straight as the opponent who's all in. But he sits there for about 3-4 seconds, but he eventually mucks the hand, mucks his other 2 cards. So I want to know, what would you guys do in that situation? Are you gonna say something to the guy, or are you just gonna let it go? I'm definitely curious to know what you think. So let me know down in the comments below. So here we look down at ace, 9-7, 3 hearts in the small blind. And after the cutoff makes it 20 and the button calls, I go ahead and 3-bet to 85. They both call, and we are going 3 ways to a flop. So we're going 3 ways to a flop of ace 7-2 Rainbow, and pretty easy decision for me when I have $120 left. So I go ahead and shove, and after thinking about it for a little bit, the first player does call, and the second player kind of laughs and calls as well. So quick note on why I play the way I do as far as buying in and everything along those lines. So I play 2 $300 bullets for a couple reasons. I started out like that years ago and it just kind of worked for me, so I've stuck with it. But 2, as you'll see, as you just saw here, people are going to call you very light when you're short stacked. Like on ace 7-2, when I have ace 9-7, I mean, what can they really have? I mean, I don't think they're going to have many 3, 4, 5s in their range, which would give them a straight draw. So, I mean, they're essentially calling me $120 for runner. I mean, one of them might have an ace, but, who knows? Another thing is, because you're going to have very low SPR, you're going to be able to play your strong draws just all in on the flop. You're not going to have to worry about getting blown off on the turn if you were, say, deeper stacks. So, a couple notes there. So, the turn brings a 4. And the river brings a deuce, which pretty much will seal the hand for me. And sure enough, I turn it over, and we're good. We're scooping a $620 pot. So I play a couple more orbits, but don't really get anything much, so I decided to rack up. What's up, guys? Just racked up. I was in for 300, out for 578, so $278 profit. As you can tell from watching this episode and the previous 2, I'm not really reinventing the wheel. I mean, I'm playing very, very straightforward, very premium hands, because the number one mistake live PLO players make is they play way too many hands. So the way you combat that is by playing premium hands that are going to dominate others. Aces are going to have higher sets than other pairs. You're going to have a lot of your nut flush draws. So if you remember one thing about live PLO, this is the one thing. Less is more. If you remember that, you're going to be way ahead of a lot of the other players out there. So hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next time. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button. If your viewing experience could have been better, please let me know how down in the comments below. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone who has given me, comments, feedback. I know my first couple of videos haven't been the greatest things ever, but I really appreciate everyone's comments that I've definitely taken into consideration, really trying to do what I can to improve my videos, improve the channel. So thanks for all that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.